Hello, today for review I've got a really long awaited gadget, and actually, I waited for something like that for quite a long time, even before it was announced, because it was necessary for FiiO to create something to be competitive with more expensive USB Bluetooth digital to analog converters, and FiiO really managed to create an interesting scene. So it's BTR5. On the presentation, FiiO announced first that they weren't going to create BTR5 and M5 is their next generation receiver, but then they've decided to make it, and I'd rather call it not Bluetooth receiver, a bit more like USB digital to analog converter, portable digital to analog converter with additional Bluetooth receiving features, because gap between BTR3 and BTR5 is really big, because here they've implemented full-featured digital to analog converter, and probably I'd say that it's close to their famous products like E17 and E07, because here they've used XMOS USB interface chip, so now it's a full-featured digital to analog converter supporting highest resolutions, including DSD and even native DSD. Also, they've installed here two ES9218 digital to analog converters. I think it's pretty impressive for such a small device. But also they've put Qualcomm's what is the index of that chip, 8679, or actually no, there is no name of this chip, actually the best Qualcomm Bluetooth receiver chip. And they gave support of all codecs, aptX, aptX HD, aptX low latency, LDAC, so all codecs here. It's really feature-packed gadget, and it's surprisingly small. Also, they used FPGA for digital signal handling and jitter reduction, and two clock generators to achieve the best possible signal. Price of BTR5 is about $110. In some shops they are a bit higher, and of course it depends on tax and local customs, but I probably forgot to mention few another technical specifications. I will say them in the beginning. So output power is 80 milliwatts for 32 ohms load from single-ended output, and up to 220 or even more from the balanced output. Yes, it supports balanced output. And work time is up to 9 hours, charge time is 2 hours, because 500 mAh per hour battery used here. And another nice feature worth mentioning, it supports headphones with microphone and talk control, CTIA standard. And now let's have a closer look. Package is pretty simple, but it's stylish. Just something inside. Okay, so inside you will have the device itself, quick start guide, warranty card, and short USB-C cable. So basically all that you will need. And also you will have this plastic case. It works as bumper for protection, but also it has clip. So you can use it with clip, or you can remove it if you don't need this clip. Also, probably DD Audio Store will create a leather case for it, but anyway, accessory set is normal. In terms of design, BTR5 is superb. So it's metal frame, 2.5D glass from both sides, looks really attractive and stylish. So it's a bit bigger than BTR3, as you can see. It's bigger, probably it's even too big for a receiver, but it's still pretty comfortable and convenient and really pocketable, so I think it's still usable in this role. So, and another comparison with M6, as you can see, noticeably smaller. But anyway, so here are two outputs, 2.5mm balanced and regular one. On-off button, it also works as a menu and a separate pairing button, microphone, and volume control, USB for charging, and to use it as digital to analog converter. So we press the button and it's booting up. It's trying to reconnect. I need to allow it to connect to some device. Let's probably connect it to my old, sorry, wrong menu item. So, turn it on and press this button. It will go to the pairing mode, and now we can connect it. It shows that it's connected, and it will show the codec, and even iPhone starts showing its battery charge level. So it works this way. By clicking this button, you can go to the menu. There are two options. You can press and hold it, or you can double click it. You can select this. I will show a control utility a bit later. So let me set the screen brightness to maximum. Not sure if it's visible, but in real life it stays visible. Screen is small, but what I like about it, FiiO managed to create a nice scene. Screen edges are almost invisible, so it looks like the caption appears right on the front panel of the device, and it looks really stylish. And in the menu you can select brightness level, you can select USB audio mode, USB 2.0 or 1.0. So 1.0 will allow you to connect to older devices, and 2.0 supports DSD and better resolutions. Screen brightness 6 steps. It's visible under the bright sun, but not the brightest one, of course. But I think for this device it's acceptable level of brightness. So equalizer, you can customize it via the menu. You can select presets, or you can customize it via special application, and you can change audio filter and software version, gain, and charging. If you want to use this USB digital to analog converter with your smartphone, probably you will desire that it won't charge from the smartphone. And car mode, if you will use it with car stereo, it's a nice idea to turn on this car mode, and it will start automatically when it will be connected to the power. So, and USB audio. Let's move back to the FiiO music. So we need to connect it. It will show the instruction. And it will ask for pairing, and now here it's connected to the device. You can control it. So should it charge, and should it option be available until device restart or always. And car mode, you can select here idle power off, select available Bluetooth codecs that you want to use, input priorities, so pretty obvious option, and menu operation, hold power or double click, and low power off time, LCD power off timer, also tunable. So FiiO made almost every aspect tunable. So here is equalizer. You can change all presets, so you can select it, and you can, after that you can just turn it on and off on the device. It's really convenient. But actually currently equalizer isn't working with LDAC codec. I think it's some limitation in the processing power. And another interesting options page. It's audio settings. Here you can input your headphones impedance and headphone sensitivity, and this device will adjust the power and volume of tones and call according to these headphones to achieve the best volume, so it won't be too loud for your ears. Channel balance, distortion compensation, second harmonic and third harmonic compensation. So I try these options, and they making treble a bit crisper, at least to my ears. And digital tonal converter clock divider level, I think it's upsampler actually, because according to this explanation, so it's kind of upsampling, and it's recommended to use it at position 1 with USB connection, and in the position 1/4 with Bluetooth connection, in order not to charge battery too fast. So probably it should be some kind of upsampling, or maybe some other option, maybe digital tonal converter overclocking. I tried different options. I didn't hear noticeable difference. Maybe something on the placebo level, maybe a bit more resolution with this option, but I'm not sure, because it requires maybe more extended listening session. So as you can see, really sophisticated utility with a lot of different options, and actually no, it's too much. 10 minutes will be okay, but I would like to see here some kind of wireless update, but currently no wireless update available, so you will have to connect it to some computer running Windows for software updates, and I'm pretty sure that FiiO will release at least few software updates for it. Anyway, it's really convenient device, build quality is really good, it's really comfortable. Battery time is close to 8-9 hours depending on the output power and headphones output. Connection quality is really reliable, even with some walls on your way, it stays audible. But of course it depends on source, and it depends on the level of electromagnetic interference around you, so maybe your results could vary a little bit. And now let's proceed to the sound. And of course about the sound, so let's have some earphones on the table. It's Kinera Nana, really interesting model, I covered them recently. I like them, and of course it would be really logical to use FiiO's own player as a source. Actually every source with same codec set will be equal, of course, but anyway I think FiiO's own devices looks more harmonic. But let's proceed. So I will try to cover simultaneously Bluetooth version of sound, and will make remarks about the improvements with USB connection, because of course as usual Bluetooth codecs take their toll for the freedom of wireless connection, but actually BTR5 really managed to, to maybe not to hide, but to minimize that negative aspects of the Bluetooth codecs. Probably selecting ES9218 chips was a nice idea, because FiiO managed to utilize their resolving and natural signature, and at the same time they managed to tune them in a proper way, so all issues of codecs, all that traces of compression, of course they are noticeable, but they won't be thrown right into your face. And in general representation, it's natural device leaning a bit towards the resolving side. I think it's a nice alteration for the typical Bluetooth receivers, because usually all wireless receivers trying to be a bit warmer, a bit more engaging, especially if it's not receiver but some headphones or something like that. But we are speaking about the maybe not, not high-end but hi-fi device. Of course, hi-fi standard is outdated, but anyway, it's natural and it's resolving and it's focusing on the micro detailization a little bit. Bass is linear, without any coloration, without any accent. Actually, you can fix it with equalizer if you like, but I prefer to keep the equalizer off, so bass is linear without any accents, without any colorations. Good resolution, not superb, but good. Of course, it's better not to compare it with some more expensive devices, but still it has plenty of power to control low frequencies as well, so it's really good in representing textures. It's suiting more for the real acoustic instruments that goes to the lower domain. For synthesized bass, maybe a bit slower representation would be nice, but for synthesized bass you can just add a bit more equalization, but I prefer to keep it flat. So depth is normal, a bit lacking depth in the Bluetooth mode because of codecs, but in wireless connection depth is really good and control of deeper bass is also nice. And as an example, I've got this track, it's Wardruna. I really like this group, band, I'm not sure how to call them correctly, but they reinterpret Scandinavian folk in a really impressive and nice way. And track Odal, as many of their works, filled with drums, and these drums are really big and they are recorded nicely and they have a lot of deep bass resonance, and this digital analog converter or receiver, not sure how to call it, actually BTR5, represents them nicely. No, maybe not as good as some expensive dubs or as M11 itself, but for such a device pretty good. Mids are also natural, focused a little bit on the micro detalization. Actually, that will show you traces of Bluetooth compression, but with wired connection via USB, it will be fixed, so no issues with that. A bit focused on the micro detalization, natural, really resolving, crisp, clean, with surprisingly normal imaginary stage. It's about average in width and in depth in the Bluetooth mode, and more than average in width and in depth in wired mode. So what else I can say? It's pretty emotional, but it requires good records because it won't add anything to the record. So if emotions are present and if a good stage is present in the track, if it mastered the way to be sounding with a good staging, it will show it to you. If no, sorry. Well, anyway, I need some example, and a bit unusual example this time. I wanted to use it as a lows example, but then I thought that it's a nice stress test for mid frequencies too, so it's a bit of nostalgia. Ratamahatta by Sepultura, nice track, also pretty low going drums, but different kind of drums, many folk music is based on the big drums, but Brazilian drums sounding much hotter than Scandinavian drums. Anyway, a lot of distorted guitars, fast aggressive music, and enough of resolution to play this track both in Bluetooth and in wired mode. And treble. Usually treble is the part that suffers the most with Bluetooth connection, but I don't know how BTR5 do its best to improve that. I don't think that they've implemented some post-processing, it's just probably the proper tuning of digital analog converter, but still it's, traces of compression are the less visible, and especially with LDAC codec you will have almost I'm lacking a bit of words for describing, not great, but almost flawless treble. And in wired mode, treble is even better. It has good attacks and decays, a bit highlighted like it's common for the Sabre digital analog converter, but it's adding a bit of crispness, and for me it's sounding in a really pleasant way. And as an example, I've got another track that I'd never use with other Bluetooth receiver, but with this one it's sounding pretty normal. It's Leïla Martial Talk, one of the best recorded female vocals in my collection, and well, it's female vocal, and you probably understand why it's a good test for the treble, because a lot of overtones going to the high treble domain, and it's a surprisingly good test for the treble here. And it's not perfect because it requires something much better in general, but still plays this track on the pretty acceptable level. Speaking about the pairing, it's really powerful. Maybe it won't drive Hi-Fi Man HE6, of course, but you most probably won't have issues with the vast majority of headphones, and even 300 ohms impedance is normal for him. Not the best load, of course, but really drives them at really normal level. Not super, but normal. And from the other hand, with sensitive in-ear monitors, background noise level is pretty low, so just toggle it to the low gain. Maybe a bit of background noise will be present, but only with the most sensitive models. With Nana, for example, no issues with background noise. And actually there is a slight difference between single-ended and balanced output. Balanced output sounding a bit tighter, a bit more focused, and a bit more engaging. So basically with this device I probably recommend you to listen to the balanced output to achieve better sound. Difference isn't huge, but in this time it's not just a matter of power, because also I do tests with equal volume set from the single-ended and balanced output, and so a bit better staging and a bit tighter sound, especially on the lows and on the lower mids. And in the USB mode it's also adding noticeable improvement. So to summarize everything, really good resolving, natural, and at the same time not dull monitoring device. Of course there are traces, you will hear what Bluetooth codecs will add, and comparing with much more expensive devices it's sounding not as good, but anyway still a really nice sound for such a small device that you can carry everywhere with you. And briefly a few words about comparison. So comparing with BTR3, BTR5 is a noticeable step forward even from single-ended output. It has better treble extension, tighter and a bit deeper low frequencies, and a bit more resolving mids. And from the balanced output, improvements becoming more noticeable. Of course it's not night and day difference, because Bluetooth codecs are the limiting part here at many times, but still difference is noticeable. And if you're thinking about using it as in USB mode also, it's a really worse this is a difference that is probably worth paying. Of course price is 2 times higher, but in the USB mode it will surprise you. And M6, I'd probably say they are pretty close in terms of level, but this one has a bit more crisp and a bit more forward treble, so it has a bit more treble extension and a bit more highlighted treble, while this one is a bit more comfortable in the treble area. And comparing with FiiO Q5S, of course Q5S is more powerful, it's tighter, more natural, more resolving, it drives power-hungry headphones with ease, but price is higher also, but they are tuned, in the similar way, not equal in terms of sound, but has similar tuning style. So it's like Q5S in miniature, or Q5S tester. Of course, many of you will ask about ES100, really popular digital popular Bluetooth receiver, offering a lot of tuning features, and probably it's even better in terms of tuning application, but I didn't have a chance to listen it for a long period of time. I've just did a brief listening in the store so just take it with a big grain of salt, because I could be totally wrong, and it's by memory comparison. For me, ES100 is a bit more synthetic on the treble, and it's the Bluetooth codec compression is more noticeable with it, and it's more colored, so it's a bit softer on the mids. It's probably a bit more engaging for some people, but for me, I like the natural resolution because I always can tune sound with earphones. For me, BTR5 is a better option. But as I want to highlight it once again, it's not direct comparison, so it's probably not fair a little bit, but anyway, I'd like to share that. I also have Shenlink's similar receiver coming for me, but it's still somewhere in the mail delivery, so I will do a big comparison a bit later. Anyway, it was FiiO's BTR5 Bluetooth receiver and portable USB digital to converter. Really nice, convenient, small and pretty well sounding device that probably will gather a lot of attention in this holiday season. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.